It is with great pleasure that I introduce our commencement speaker, Dr. Michelle Fazio. Dr. Fazio has been a member of the English department for the past 11 years and is the 2020-2021 faculty in residence of Esther G. Mainers Honors College. She also serves as the co-coordinator of the Gender Studies minor. In 2018, Dr. Fazio earned both UNCP's Outstanding Teaching Award and the Graduate School's Graduate Faculty Mentor Award. She received tenure in 2015 and was promoted to full professor this year. She earned a bachelor's degree in English from Bridgewater State College, a master's degree in English from the University of Massachusetts at Boston, and a doctorate in English at Stony Brook University. She has been awarded multiple grants and fellowships to support her research on working class culture and labor activism. And she served as a visiting professor at the University of Calabria in Italy in both 2016 and 2017. Dr. Fazio is involved with numerous committees at UNCP, including Pembroke Undergraduate Research and Creativity Center, the Graduate Council, the Diversity Committee for Communities of Interests, and Social Justice Committee. Committed to student success, she has developed a new professional certificate program to raise greater awareness of the needs of first-generation college students on campus. She has partnered with several local nonprofit organizations to promote migrant farm worker justice in her courses. And through her involvement in study abroad, she has taught courses in both Italy and Japan. A strong proponent of service learning and community engagement, Dr. Fazio led a service learning project to record the work histories of the Lumbee tribe. In 2013, her cultural exhibit, Someplace Like Pembroke, Work Histories of the Lumbee, and the efforts of her students were recognized in receiving the inaugural Diane O. Jones Excellence in Service Learning Award. In 2014, she co-wrote and co-produced the documentary Voices of the Lumbee, which earned both the Studs Terkel Award for Media and Journalism and the North Carolina Folklore Society Brown Hudson Award. Active in her profession, Dr. Fazio has served as president of the Working Class Studies Association and currently coordinates its mentoring program. She has written peer-reviewed publications on Italian-American culture, graphic narratives, multi-ethnic literature, and anti-racist pedagogy. Additionally, her research on family history, community, and memory has been exhibited at Harvard Law School Library and the American Labor Museum. She is co-editor of the Routledge International Handbook of Working Class Studies, which will be published this fall, and is working on a new book project exploring the music of Woody Guthrie and the cultural legacy of Stacco and Vanzetti. Please welcome Dr. Fazio.
Graduates, I'd like to take you on a journey with me that I took a few years ago from here to New York City. We'll travel next to Tulsa, Oklahoma, then head east to Boston, Massachusetts, before circling back to the streets of Pembroke, North Carolina. We'll look at a few photographs and listen to music along the way that I hope you'll enjoy. But first, I want to tell you how honored I am to speak with you today on such a momentous occasion. I recall my own graduation ceremony when I earned a master's degree and what it meant to me and my family as a first-generation working-class college student. I never imagined that one day I'd be standing on a stage to deliver a commencement address. And I'm grateful for, and a little overwhelmed, to be honest, by this opportunity. Like you, I want to take a moment to thank the teachers and mentors I've had in my life who invested a great deal of time and energy encouraging me to pursue my interests and goals, despite my feeling like I didn't really belong in academia. I've heard similar stories about imposter syndrome from my students in my graduate classes at UNCP who've had to navigate the continuous demands of working full-time, raising families, and caring for aging parents while pursuing their education. Up front, right now, I think it is important to acknowledge how hard it can be to manage these intersecting areas of our lives day after day, semester after semester, year after year. Add to this the extraordinary challenges you face this year living among the fear and uncertainty of a global pandemic. Perseverance is a term often used at graduations to describe academic success. but no graduating class is more deserving of this recognition than you. You not only faced great odds to complete your degree requirements, especially by meeting the demands of classes shifting online, but you also worked on the front lines in your communities as cashiers, healthcare workers, teachers, and in countless other industries and professions, sometimes without appropriate safety equipment, all in an effort to serve others. The work you do matters, and even though you may not hear an auditorium filled with applause, please know that your diligence both inside and outside of the classroom during this time of crisis is inspiring. We thank you for all your sacrifices and hard work. And you're graduating not just in a pandemic, but in a year filled with social and political changes so enormous, they've called into question virtually on every level what it means to be an American. The aftermath of George Floyd's murder on May 25th propelled massive nationwide and global protests to condemn police brutality. The toppling of Civil War monuments and Christopher Columbus statues across the country has initiated an important dialogue about race and representation, as well as history and memorialization. While some have criticized these efforts as being too radical, such change is necessary to call out white supremacy. Our technological global world is constantly evolving, and it would be naive to think that we as a people, our beliefs, ideologies, and desires would remain the same throughout these changes. Our lives change all the time, both personally and professionally, shaping who we are and what we hope to accomplish. Social change is necessary to make forward progress. And as American history has shown, the struggle for civil rights and social justice here in North Carolina and nationwide has been fought to build upon and protect our democracy for all, not just some. This present moment of social unrest is no different. We stand a nation divided, with many wrestling over what comes next. While there may be no easy answers or blueprint guiding us on how we should move forward in this world, I would like to offer one suggestion as you begin the next chapter of your life. Do not be afraid to speak up for what you believe in, especially during troubled times. And these are troubling times. It would be far too easy to return to the way things used to be and forget what this year has brought to light. But doing so would ignore and erase lived experience. Your challenge then, no matter your career or life choices, is to foster empathy, acting compassionately and intentionally to effect positive social change for yourself and in the lives of others. Embracing a lifelong commitment to activism and social justice will continue to uphold UNCP's mission to serve and to lead, fostering an appreciation of diversity and respect for the dignity and worth of every individual. This work, I know firsthand, is often difficult and uncomfortable. I'll give you an example. In my work to promote migrant farm worker justice in rural counties in North Carolina, I've learned a great deal about migrant farm workers' harsh living and working conditions, and the essential role they serve in providing food for us every day. It can be overwhelming to see how one person could make a difference, but we can by working together, as my colleague Brooke Kelly and our students do through service learning. Get involved locally with community partners to assist those in need. Find ways through volunteering to connect your career with nonprofit organizations. Stay active, steadfast, and hopeful in serving and aligning with others because despair, guilt, and apathy are not viable options. It is everyone's responsibility to question how we got here and to think critically about how we can overcome economic and racial inequality now and in the future. As you take on your responsibility as citizens, the arts can help you. Over the past several months, music in particular has provided a welcome reprieve from news headlines. Musicians quickly adapted to this new virtual world by playing live stream concerts, publishing song playlists, and hosting radio programs online. And as I listened to performances by contemporary artists such as Billy Bragg, Rhiannon Giddens, Ani DiFranco, and Bruce Springsteen, a common thread emerged: music's power to create solidarity. And despite their different musical styles, from punk and old-time music to alternative folk and rock, each of these artists has been influenced and recorded songs by American singer and songwriter Woody Guthrie. Recorded during the 1930s and 40s, Woody Guthrie's music captured America's imagination by documenting the collective struggles of workers during the Great Depression and World War II. Folk music, according to Guthrie, was the people's music, capturing their voices, traditions, and experiences in song. People like immigrants, sharecroppers, miners, factory workers, strikers, and union organizers who faced hard times every day at work, on the streets, and at home. His protest ballads have indelibly shaped American culture and music history, and have been a subject that I've explored at length in my teaching and scholarship. In fact, I've traveled to Guthrie's birthplace in Oklahoma and later to New York City to conduct archival research, where I had the opportunity to examine hundreds of his unpublished songs and journals. As my students will tell you, I've also been known on occasion to lead a sing-along of his labor ballads in my graduate classes at UNCP and abroad in Italy. Guthrie believed a folk song is what's wrong and how to fix it, or it could be who's hungry and where their mouth is, or who's out of work and where the job is, or who's broke and where the money is, or who's carrying a gun and where the peace is. These words, outlining social problems like hunger, homelessness, and unemployment, could very well have been written today. Let's give a listen to a playlist I made of some of Guthrie's songs. Here's one that may be familiar to you.
This land is your land, and this land is my land, from California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me.
While these lyrics appear to celebrate America, Guthrie raises questions about social belonging, as we see here in one of the song's lesser-known verses. In the shadow of the steeple, I saw my people. By the relief office, I seen my people. As they stood there hungry, I stood there asking, is this land made for you and me? In his travels across the country, Guthrie advocated for the under and unemployed of America's most disenfranchised and dispossessed people who were just trying to get by, as this next song, Hard Travelin', shows.
Well, I've been hitting some hard harvesting, I thought you knowed. North Dakota to Kansas City, away down the road. Cutting out wheat and stacking out hay and trying to make about $1 a day. And I've been having some hard traveling, Lord.
In December 1947, Guthrie traveled to North Carolina, Winston-Salem to be exact, to sing against Union segregation at the Negro Tobacco Workers' Dance at Union Hall. He also promoted the lives of labor radicals who fought for workers' rights, such as in the ballads he recorded about Nicola Sacco and Bartolomeo Vanzetti, the two Italian immigrants whose controversial arrest for robbery and murder in 1920 in Boston, Massachusetts, resulted in worldwide protests against their frame-up and later their execution in 1927.
Say there, did you hear the news? Sacco worked at trimming shoes. Vanzetti was a peddling man and pushed his fish cart with his hand. Two good men a long time gone. Two good men a long time gone. Sacco and Vanzetti are gone. They left me here to sing this song.
I believe Woody Guthrie's music is as relevant today as it was over 80 years ago, inspiring us to think critically about our complicated past and its impact on the present. His songs illustrate the power of working-class solidarity across racial and ethnic lines. Consider, for example, our region's own rich history, which tells a profound story of protest, resistance, and activism. In the Battle of Hayes Pond, Lumbee people ran the Ku Klux Klan out of town. On the streets of Pembroke last June, Black students and their white and Native allies marched for Black lives, and the hateful response they received showed us that we still have work to do. Guthrie once said, "If the fight gets hot, the songs get hotter. If the going gets tough, the songs get tougher." His music demands accountability. It asks each of us explicitly, which side are you on? I have no doubt that Guthrie would have written a folk song or two about today's current events, here in Pembroke and across the world as well. The playlist I created for you today is but one example of music's potential to reveal some hard truths about American society and to get us to think, respond, and act. I encourage you to make your own playlist centered around a social justice issue or a community that you care deeply about. Maybe it's environmental justice, immigrant rights, health care, the Black Lives Matter movement, workers' rights, income inequality, the LGBTQ community, indigenous rights, or public education. Whichever it is, include the artists who reflect your musical tastes and values, and let the music guide you toward further reflection and action into 2021 and the years that follow. I'll end by sharing one of my favorite writings by Woody Guthrie, his New Year's Rulins, a list of resolutions he compiled for himself in 1943. As you see here, he liked to doodle in his journal, and his suggestions and good humor offer a philosophy worth living by. Be practical. Learn people better. Don't get lonesome. Stay glad. Work by a schedule. Dream good. Bank all extra money. Have company, but don't waste time. Be healthy. Wash teeth if any. Take bath. Eat good. Fruit, vegetables, milk. Wear clean clothes. Look good. Be creative. Write a song a day. Listen to radio a lot. Read lots of good books. Play and sing good. Dance better. Be hopeful. Love mama. Love papa. Love everybody. Keep hoping machine running. Be involved. Make up your mind. Wake up and fight. 2020 has indeed been, to borrow Guthrie's phrase, a road filled with hard traveling. And while we still have a long way to go, your achievement today, as well as your professional advancement in your fields of study, helps to propel all of us forward to create a world that is indeed made for you and me, without prejudice towards social class, race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, disability, nationality, religion, or political viewpoints. Engage in the work needed for that world to exist. As Guthrie reminds us, the note of hope is the only note that can help or save us from falling to the bottom of the heap of evolution, because largely about all a human being is anyway is just a hoping machine. Power rests with the people, and it's up to you, me, and everyone around us to keep Guthrie's hoping machine running, to end oppression and systemic racism in all its forms. And I can't wait to see what each of you will accomplish in your lives. My sincerest congratulations again, class of 2020. Remember to tune into the music, turn up the volume, and sing out.
Well, I'm going to tell you fascists, you may be surprised. People in this world are getting organized. You're bound to lose, you fascists bound to lose. All you fascists bound to lose. I said, all you fascists bound to lose.
Thank you, Dr. Fazio. We are greatly honored to have had you as our commencement speaker.